Let's get to it. I'm back in business, Baltimore. I'm back. This is the Let's Get To It show. And that's a tour with a U because I always got you in mind. So if you don't mind, let me break it down for you because you ain't never heard nothing like this before. And at the end of the day, it's all for you. It's really all for you. And y'all my go-getters. Let's go. Let's go. And guess what? I'm King Sam the Powerful. The biggest hater this side of Texas. I talk reckless. So if you want the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me God. Matter of fact, y'all can't handle the truth. Court is in session. My topic for the day is how to make your dreams and ideas come to life. You feel me? I ain't want to give y'all this secret, but I felt y'all needed this secret. Because there's a lot of people out there ain't making it. They ain't getting to it. And you know my motto, let's get to it. So let me get a spot of tea. A spot of tea. Woo. Y'all see the name on that? That's Sunrise Kitchen, Bath, and Closets. They making the process of remodeling easy. They transforming your homes. They got 3 locations. One on Mercury Boulevard, one in Hampton, one in Virginia Beach, one in Chesapeake. Y'all get up with them, y'all. If y'all got a computer, a phone in your hand, get up with them. That's Sunrise Kitchen, Bath, and Closets. But y'all see what the topic is. How to make your dreams and ideas come to life. It's a process. Before I get to that, before I go there with it, man, I wanted to talk about something else. I wanted to talk about these tariffs, man. These tariffs starting to weigh down on us, man. And you know, they ain't just dropping it on us. It's a little bit at a time and it's getting more progressive. People starting to feel the stings of the tariffs, man. Who the tariffs really helping? Who the tariffs helping? I know a lot of y'all out there feel some sort of way, but who the tariffs helping? To my understanding, if you know anything, what them tariffs for? Y'all, matter of fact, I'm about to get my phone ready so I can read along in the chat, man. Y'all tell me, man, who them tariffs really benefiting, man. Of course, I'm going to give you my point of view on it. But I want to hear your point of view, man. Who them tariffs really for, man? Who them tariffs really for? Is them tariffs benefiting you? Is they benefit me? Is they benefiting some hidden corporations? Who they benefiting? Is they helping the USA as a whole? The United States of America as a whole? Or is they helping a certain group of people? Because they saying it's going to be hard for us, but we got to get through the hard times to make it right. Sometimes when people go through stuff, they don't never bounce back. Like people always say it's going to get harder before it get easier. But sometimes people don't never bounce back. They don't even bounce back. So it's like, who them tariffs really helping? Because as I understand it, tariffs, they meant to even the playing field for businesses, so to speak. But like if you are in competition with somebody who the labor cost is way lower than ours, how do you even that and still be within a competitive price range to where if they selling something for $2 and you trying to sell it for $100, how do we compete with that? Do you make them sell it for $100 when all of us as consumers know us out there for $2? You getting over on the consumer. You hurting the consumer. And if you want to produce those and manufacture those things right here in America, do you want us to work for the wages that they working for in order to produce it for $2? I'm trying to understand. I fail to understand, like, who is benefiting. And it's like, even if I break it down to a level that I could understand, this is something I could understand. if you selling something for the low, you the plug. You the plug. And if the plug let me get for $2 and then somebody in the middle of that transaction say, nah, man, I'ma slap $98 on that. You can't pay two. You gotta pay $100. I'ma look around and be like, if I know this is going on, I'ma be mad. I'ma be upset. I'ma be like waiting in the wings for my come up. Cause you know what I'ma wanna do? I'ma wanna get rid of that middleman and go straight to the plug. Why? Because it's beneficial to me. You keeping the playing market or if you keeping the economical field even, but I'm the one that's losing out, how does that benefit everybody? I don't know. So somebody enlighten me, because to me it don't make no sense. You know, I never trusted somebody who didn't have my best interests in mind. So again, I'm reaching out to everybody out there. Some people might know better than me. They might, they doing this and they trying to. All I know is somebody giving me something for the low. And you know, you not promised nothing, but while they're getting good, go ahead and get it. They say, get it while they're getting good, because it might not be like that tomorrow. Yesterday's prices ain't today's prices. So, you know, you got to keep that in mind. Y'all chime in, because my, take on it is that these tariffs is benefiting corporations and businesses. You know, they trying to be competitive because, as you can see, these tariffs, they hurting small businesses, they hurting farmers, and you know, it's okay for the upper echelon, because they get to like even out the playing field and be more competitive with, and even put the press and get some sort of leverage on, countries out there. But to the common person, such as myself, the average citizen, such as myself, the average consumer, the average, hopeful entrepreneur, such as myself, I don't see this as a benefit. Not long run, not short term. So, somebody come in and chime in. Y'all, when y'all see this, y'all might not be in the chat right now, but when y'all see this, chime in and give me your opinion, because like I said, I don't see it benefiting me. If you're going to add an extra, if you putting points on top of something that's already priced low, then I don't get it. And now if you want to take another angle and you be like, they over there working for the low, and they got to fight. They got to fight back. They got to fight for their rights. They gotta put their foot down. They got to. Anytime you being abused, you got to put your foot down, because if not, people gonna run all over top of you. And people that's in I don't know if everybody know that. I know, but coming from these hoods, you try not to let people play around with you, because once one person start playing with you, everybody act like they could jump in and participate in these little kid games with you. So you got to go ahead and stand up for, yours. They call it standing on business. I stand on 10. All that good slick talk. That's what comes with it, man. You don't let nobody play with you. And, we got a history. We done went through something, but, we put our feet down, whether we protesting, whether we boycotting and riding and fighting and bucking, going through this and that. We as a people, they call us the indigenous ones, the Black Americans, the Negroes, African American, whatever you want to call us, whatever title, you know who we is. We be bucking and we be fighting. Sometimes you got to buck and fight. And you got to, what they say, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. But that was my topic. I wanted to get into that because, I don't understand all the ins and outs of, but I like to put things on I like to get things on the basic level. When it start getting too complicated and confusing, I feel like it's a trick. So I break it down to its smallest compound, to the easy to understand type thing. That way it ain't no confusion in it. It's like anytime you trying to whatever you nickname it is, but you trying to raise prices for me, I'm gonna look at you sideways. I don't care what you put on it. You hurting me. So therefore, if you hurting me, then I'm gonna look at it like, is this really benefiting me? Now, if it's for another reason and it's something I don't see, that's why I say come in and let me know. Make it simple though, man. Make it simple. Don't try to, give me the around the world explanation for it. Just keep it short and sweet so I can understand it. When it get too complicated, it might go over my head. Feel me? But with that, I'm gonna get out of that and transition to my next topic: how to make your dreams and ideas come to life. Y'all want those tips? Because I talked to a few people, because this was an idea that I had when I was talking about my earlier idea. My earlier idea was who these terms really benefit. But in that conversation, when I was talking to Tina Miles, she one of my, my team members. She helped me kind of, come up with topics. We do a little bit of brainstorming, and we flesh out good topics. We talk about ones that I might have an idea if she got some ideas with. I also talked to Mario Bunton. I also talked to Christopher Terrell Scott. I also talked to Jamal Bryant. And we kind of flesh out topics and kind of, figure out the talking points of it. Sometimes I go to the barbershop and I have a barbershop talk. That's 368 Demi Boulevard. That's Elise Pro. I'm in there chopping it up with Mook or Ray or Eric Davis or some of the patrons that come in there to get they touch up, they weekly touch up. And I just drop my topics. And we'll talk it out, and I see, if it's worth bringing to the people, though. I see if it's worth bringing to y'all. So when I was talking to Tina Miles, we got to talking about, I showed her my studio, and she was, bringing it back up. She was like, I seen the passion you had for it. And, that made me, like, I felt something. And, I recognized that because I think last week I was talking about, my grandmother, rest her soul, Mimi Porter, Minnie Porter, Minnie Burroughs, Mimi DeLeon. She had a floral shop when I was younger. And it was the first time that I got involved with sales of sorts. And she used to gather up buckets of roses for me and my brother. He get a bucket, I get a bucket. And she would let us sell the roses, bring her back the price of the roses, and keep the whatever we made over it. She'd say, charge $1 a rose. And I had a great time doing it because, I believed in the roses. She used to teach us about flowers, teach us how to, try to give us a green thumb, teach us what we need to do because she was into that. And I believed in it. I was knowledgeable with her help. And when I used to go to door, I was filled with so much positive energy that it was easy for me to sit back and have that energy and try to transfer it. Even, when I got no's or I got negative responses or people, kind of try to brush me off or disrespect me, I was still filled up with so much energy that it didn't matter. I was ready to go to the next door. And, it was a good feeling. I remember that at a young age, and it carried over. When I do get into something, I'm able to channel that same energy, that same passion, and I'm able to bring life and be contagious with how I feel on the inside about something, and able to try to get you to see what I see. Because, if I'm into it, I think it's a good product. I think it's worth the money. I think you're getting a good deal. So I'm ready to share that with you. If I got an idea that I'm ready to bring to life, I'm ready to explain why and share that with you with passion. And I'm trying to, you know, channel that and share that. And, I was telling her that, and as I was going over that, somehow we got into, how to bring your ideas and your dreams to life. And I say that's a key component to it right there. Being able to like get that feeling inside you, channel that feeling inside you, develop that and project it. How to feel a certain way, they say you feel fired up. How to feel fired up about something and let that take over. And then you try to spread that fire to someone else. And then you spread that and hopefully, they can help and you can spread and it becomes something. It becomes a trend. It becomes something that's, acceptable. And, I said that was one key. So being able to kind of drum up that passion inside you and put it into whatever you believe in. That passion, that's one key to making your dreams and ideas come to life. And then she added in also getting around people that also have that same energy, also have that same passion. They might not got the same level as you, but they know how to get to that same feeling as you. And I was like, okay, that's a part of that team, having people that had that same type of energy, that same type of passion and emotion. If you align yourself with those type of people, that's when you start to, get to your ideas and your dreams and bringing them to life. And then, I was saying, I added on after that, you can't be afraid to lose. Like when you start something, it's about bringing it to life. It's about manifesting it. Sometimes you're going to take some losses, but that don't mean it's over. That means you got to be willing to, win, lose, or draw, still have that same energy, still try to bring what you see, your vision to life. You got to be willing to take an L. You got to be willing to take one on the chin and keep it pushing. It comes with it. That's some of the obstacles you're going to have to face. Can you take the L's? Can you take the hits? Can you take the no's? That's the third thing. And then, she was like, after I added that, she was like, and then sometimes it's about actually starting to put it together, build it up. Because sometimes she was just talking about events and stuff. You got to get the food. You got to make set everything up. You got to, if you doing a studio, you got to get the equipment. You got to actually start to put things together and structure stuff so people can have something. What they say, if you build it, they will come. You got to have that type of mentality. You got to start building it so it's something to latch on to besides just an idea. You got to put the work in. What they say, faith without works is dead. Is dead. So you got to put the work in. You got to start building it up. You got to start building it up. And that was some of the stuff that we came up with. That was some of the stuff, I'm quite sure there's a whole bunch of other things you could do to kind of, bring stuff to life. But I think those are the four components right there. Those some of the main components you need. Be willing to put the work in. Put people around you that feel the same way. Be willing to take that loss and then be able to stoke that fire inside you. That way you can have that passion in you when you trying to, I guess, if you trying to get your ideas across. If you trying to communicate your ideas and your dreams, that you fired up about it. And that's what you need. A lot of people say you got to live like you already there. But all that stuff it don't even matter if you can't stoke that fire inside you. It don't matter if you don't surround yourself with people that got the same energy as you about what you believe in. It don't matter if you ain't ready to take an L and keep it pushing. And it don't matter. You know, that stuff don't even matter if you ain't gonna sit up there and start building and then put it together and do the work. So, you know, I ain't wanna keep going on, but I did wanna bring that to the table. I did wanna share some of the tips of how to bring your dreams to life. You got to see it. You got to see it. You got to go out there and see it in order to have a vision in your mind. If you got the dream and you could already visualize it, that's a part of it. You got to see it. Like when I was putting this studio together, I had to see it. Like I had an idea of what I wanted, but when I seen it, I said, that's it. That's the look I'm going for. That's what I'm trying to duplicate right there. That's what I want. How they do that? Look it up, figure it out. I want this and that. I want this. What'll make it say I want to be I had to see it. I had to see it. I had to be able to visualize it and see it. Cause if you can't see it, if you ain't got no example, you ain't got nothing laid down, no foundation, what you doing? What you doing? So I say those the 5 steps right there. Be able to see it. You got to be able to visualize it. You got to see it in order to be able to put it down. You got to be able to generate that energy and that passion. That way you can spread it and be contagious to others. You got to have people around you that can generate that same energy. Maybe not to your level, but generate that same energy. You got to be willing to take a L, take a loss, and keep it pushing. Because it ain't going to be just green lights. It's going to be some red lights in there too and some speed bumps in there. So you got to be willing to take a hit on the chin and keep punching at what you want. And you got to be ready to do the work. You got to be able to do the work and put something together so somebody can get in there and see what you're doing and say, okay, I want to be a part of this. You got to show it's working. You got to put it together so people can see something to believe in. And that's how you make your dreams and ideas come to life. I'm about to get out of here, y'all. Let me clap it up for that. Bringing dreams and ideas to life, man. I'm out of here, y'all. Y'all know what it is, man. This was Let's Get To It. And that was a tour with a you because you know I always got y'all in mind. I do. I really do. When I be dropping these Jones, man, it's for me. But I enjoy dropping jewels. I enjoy sharing because they say sharing is caring. I don't do this for no money. I do this because I care. I do this because I care. So if you don't mind, let me break stuff down for y'all because y'all ain't never heard nothing like this before. And at the end of the day, it's all for you. You hear? It's all for you. It's really all for you. And y'all know who I am, King Sam the Powerful, the biggest hater this side of Texas. I talk reckless. And if y'all want the truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth, matter of fact, y'all can't handle the truth. Y'all can't handle the truth. So, my case is closed. Court is adjourned, man.